Hi, I'm Lori Ackerman, Mayor of the City of Fort St. John, BC's energy capital. In 2012, we recognized that a proposed project on the Peace River, just 7 kilometers from our downtown, could have a major impact on our community. Site C. We chose to be proactive, promote, and protect our community, ensuring that the long-term sustainability of the community was our overarching objective. We created 11 objectives and took them out to the community. Let's talk Site C. We went to playgrounds, coffee shops, business associations, youth organizations, seniors organizations, and gathered feedback from you on how your life, your business, the services you expect would be impacted by this project. From this, we received an international award and 2 national awards for this remarkable conversation. What we'd like to do now is close the loop and fill you in and update you on that information that we receive from you and how we have moved forward on it. So, let's talk site community. It's been just over 2 years since the city asked community members to participate in our Let's Talk Site C initiative. Through this presentation today, I want to share with you and celebrate the many actions that have been realized since we first launched Let's Talk Site C. Some have occurred as a direct result of that initiative, while others evolved through the city's discussions and participation in the Site C environmental assessment process. We've made great progress over the past few years. As you can see by the name of the presentation, not just about Site C anymore, but about our community. Council and staff have been assessing the potential project impacts of the Site C Clean Energy Project for decades. We've met with BC Hydro countless times and conducted our own research to identify potential impacts. We've met with other municipalities to identify their concerns as well. Council identified 11 draft interests and objectives we felt should be protected and promoted if Site C is approved. In 2012, during the Let's Talk Site C Community Engagement Initiative, community members confirmed the 11 interests and provided feedback that helped us to strengthen them. Using community input gained through Let's Talk Site C, the city articulated these interests and objectives into a formal position paper presented to BC Hydro in the fall of 2012. The direction and support offered by the community also helped equip City Council and staff to participate in the Site C environmental assessment process in December 2013 to January of 2014. Throughout the many years we've been reviewing Site C information, the City of Fort St. John has never wavered in our resolve. Our intention has never been to oppose or support the Site C Clean Energy Project. Our resolve has always been to protect and promote our community's interests, to ensure, if it's approved, Site C must contribute to the long-term sustainability of our community. Objective 1. Community members said they wanted to ensure the city optimizes economic opportunities. If Site C is approved, you agreed you wanted to see local hiring, purchasing of local goods and services, the city continue to develop as BC's energy capital, and the establishment of a peace trust. So what has been accomplished from our position paper and the environmental assessment process? BC Hydro will maintain a community consultation office in Fort St. John that will provide the local workforce with information about procurement and employment opportunities. BC Hydro will ensure its contractors and subcontractors maintain a strong local presence and will provide information about employment opportunities to the local workforce. In collaboration with the Fort St. John and District Chamber of Commerce, the City, and the North Peace Economic Development Commission, BC Hydro has developed a business participation strategy. Information sessions are being provided for community businesses so they can be aware of the procurement processes and opportunities associated with Site C. BC Hydro has made a $1 million contribution to Northern Lights College Foundation to support development of skilled workers in the North, targeting students who may not otherwise have access to post-secondary education. And BC Hydro has become a partner in Northern Opportunities, a BC partnership that combines high school, college studies, and work-based training to develop and retain a Northeast BC workforce. The City has also accomplished a number of benefits outside of the position paper and the EA process. We have historically shared an Economic Development Officer who served the entire North Peace area and worked through the North Peace Economic Development Commission. The City recently focused some of our resources and hired an Economic Development Officer to serve the City of Fort St. John. We recently completed a boundary extension to plan and manage for anticipated growth of the community in response to Site C. City staff and council have been working to increase energy literacy and model sustainable energy leadership to help others in BC understand energy. Because community feedback identified livability as an important value for our city, we've been developing a downtown revitalization plan called Energize Downtown. Objective 2. Community members said they wanted to see BC Hydro house the construction workforce in communities to the greatest extent possible without disrupting the local housing market. That means adopting a workers living locally strategy and building one camp, not two. So what has been accomplished from our position paper and the environmental assessment process? BC Hydro will create one worker camp to house temporary workforce that will be self-contained to reduce any negative impact on community services. BC Hydro has committed to hiring a community camp coordinator to liaise with the community and help ensure any issues that do come up regarding the camp can be identified and mitigated quickly. And BC Hydro will add 50 additional affordable housing units to Fort St. John's housing stock, 40 for BC Hydro to use, to be turned over after project completion, and 10 for immediate use. What else has the City been able to accomplish? The City is actively supporting innovation in the housing industry through the construction of a passive house, which is a model in energy conservation. We are working with regional partners to define the camp community, identify how it would be developed and when, set an appropriate framework for its development, and determine whether it should be located within or outside city boundaries. We are also actively promoting positive city-camp community relationships. Objective 3. The community agreed that construction staging areas should benefit economic use after the completion of Site C construction. Staging areas are locations used to store equipment, resources, and materials, as well as mobilize personnel. So what's been accomplished from our position paper and the EA process? The North Peace region will lose a significant component of its industrial land inventory due to the construction staging area. This land will be returned to the industrial land inventory following completion of the Site C construction. With the staging area property on the edge of city boundaries, the management of the site during construction was very important to the City. BC Hydro will minimize visual, noise, and light impacts, install air quality stations, and monitor dust, minimize the spread of noxious weeds, and have restrictions on material extraction, transportation, and operation times. There will also be a site reclamation plan, contractor mitigation plans, and a stormwater retention pond designed for the site. Objective 4. Community agreed that BC Hydro should include all staging areas, camp facilities, and the dam itself inside the city boundaries. However, we heard from those with a broader regional interest who identified good reasons why the dam should remain outside the city boundaries. We recognized that it's important to balance what we heard from the Fort St. John community members with regional interests. The City is no longer considering a boundary extension to include the Site C dam site. Ensuring Site C remains outside of the city boundaries, we believe, is important not only for the city, but also for the well-being of our region. Objective 5. The community agreed that the impacts and costs of Site C to the City of Fort St. John should be paid for by BC Hydro and the province. What has been accomplished from our position paper and environmental assessment process? The city recognizes this project is going to impact many areas of the community, and we continue to negotiate with BC Hydro for a community measures agreement that will provide the city with necessary funds to offset impact costs during the construction period. The findings of the Joint Review Panel established by the federal and provincial ministries of environment recognized and supported these negotiations. BC Hydro has provided funding to the city to cover some of the cost of participating, collaborating, and being a technical expert in the environmental assessment process. Objective 6. Community agreed that BC Hydro and the province should provide investments to enhance the regional transportation system. What has been accomplished from our position paper and the environmental assessment process? BC Hydro has completed an assessment of the traffic impacts on regional transportation corridors and identified, in collaboration with the BC Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure, ways to mitigate the regional impacts and upgrade roads that will be negatively impacted. This includes, for example, improvements to the Taylor Hill on Highway 97 descending into the Peace River Valley, and fog lights on Highway 97 bridge over the Peace River at Taylor. The city secured BC Hydro's agreement to complete a city-specific transportation analysis, as its region-wide analysis did not consider city streets. The Joint Review Panel supported the need for this additional analysis. The city then ensured that BC Hydro develop a transportation, monitoring, and mitigation plan for city streets. This plan includes traffic counts and intersection and route service performance analysis. BC Hydro has also agreed to provide a shuttle system to transport the project workforce from camps to the North Peace Airport. What else has the city been able to accomplish? The city will be undertaking a transportation master plan to be completed by mid-2015 in collaboration with the Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure. We have been in discussions with the ministry for transportation-related investments, such as the traffic signals at the East Bypass Road and 100th Avenue that are a direct result of increased traffic. The Airport Society, of which the city is a member, was successful in securing funding for airport development from Western Economic Diversification, Northern Development Initiative Trust, and the Federal Airport Capital Assistance Program. The City and Air Service Development Committee, with the help of hundreds of community members, was successful in securing WestJet Airlines to provide regular service into Fort St. John. Objective 7. Community said it wanted to see a basin-wide assessment conducted for the entire Peace River Basin that would consider not only the impacts of Site C, but also the WAC Bennett Dam and the Peace Canyon Dam, which were never fully assessed and addressed. So what has been accomplished from our position paper and the environmental assessment process? The need for a basin-wide assessment is still being advocated by the city, the regional district, Treaty 8 Tribal Association, and many of the local First Nation communities and other municipalities in BC and Alberta. The mandate of the Joint Review Panel was restricted to the Site C project only, so they did not provide recommendations for this. What else has the city been able to accomplish? The city chose to take a cumulative effect perspective, which included looking at all major development in the region when assessing Site C. All large natural resource projects have impacts on adjacent communities. We have seen that communities are stronger when they work together to promote their objectives and interests. The City of Fort St. John and other northern municipalities have established the Northeast BC Resource Municipalities Coalition. Together, the coalition will effectively represent municipal interests in resource development issues in the future. Objective 8. Community said it wants to see BC Hydro develop and implement a recreation master plan for the Site C reservoir. What has been accomplished from our position paper and the environmental assessment process? BC Hydro has agreed to develop and manage a public safety management plan during construction and operation of the Site C reservoir. Establish and operate 3 new permanent boat launches and day use sites at Cache Creek, Lynx Creek, and Hudson's Hope. They will enhance Allen Holland Park, provide a community recreation site fund to support new shoreline recreation sites on the Site C reservoir, the Peace River, and tributaries between Site C and the Alberta border, and fund the development of a BC Peace River Site C reservoir navigation and recreation opportunities plan. The plan is intended to enable local communities to plan for boating and recreation opportunities created by the Site C reservoir. What else has the city been able to accomplish? In cooperation with the Peace River Regional District and the District of Taylor, the city is preparing a master recreation plan. The plan will include an inventory of current recreation facilities and a strategy for adding additional facilities in the future. Objective 9. Community said it wanted to improve the project review process. And what has been accomplished from our position paper and environmental assessment process? The city presented at the Joint Review Panel in December of 2013 and January of 2014 on the following topics: the community's position and quality of life, 85th Avenue lands, air quality, economic development, housing, monitoring, local government revenue, population, RCMP, transportation, and water supply. What else has the city been able to accomplish? The city found that the environmental assessment process was not the best forum to hear community concerns. This realization is yet another reason the city has driven the creation of the Northeast BC Resource Municipalities Coalition. Learnings flowing out of this project will be applied to future projects. Objective 10. The community agreed that there should be a monitoring system to identify and address any unforeseen impacts and issues as a result of Site C. What has been accomplished from our position paper and environmental assessment process? BC Hydro recognized the need to develop a significant number of monitoring and mitigation plans. The provincial and federal environmental agencies, as well as the Joint Review Panel, agreed. For example, the plans would include monitoring of air quality, water protection, traffic, housing inventory, and police services. BC Hydro has hired staff to conduct monitoring and to liaise with communities. The City of Fort St. John will be recognized as a key topic expert and will be involved in all of the major regional monitoring programs. BC Hydro and the city have developed a mitigation and monitoring plan for the city water supply and transportation. If there were unforeseen impacts from the construction or operation of the Site C dam on our water wells or city streets, the monitoring and mitigation plans would ensure the city is alerted of any problems, and BC Hydro would be fully responsible for the cost to fix them. The city has requested the development of a legally binding dispute resolution process to ensure that our interests are protected. What else has the city been able to accomplish? All large natural resource projects have impacts on adjacent communities. As mentioned previously, the City of Fort St. John and other northern municipalities have established the Northeast BC Resource Municipalities Coalition. Together, the coalition will effectively represent municipal interests in resource development issues in the future. The city is planning to ensure the long-term sustainability of the city's current and future water supply, and the city will be developing a number of master plans for recreation, transportation, liquid waste, and facilities. Objective 11. Community wanted to see BC Hydro enter into a formal agreement with the city that would incorporate all commitments. What has been accomplished as a result of the negotiations with BC Hydro? The city has been extensively involved throughout BC Hydro's various Site C proposals over the last 40 years and will continue to do so to advance the city's interests in things like education, medical services, non-profit organizations, impact on our social fabric, policing, housing, and air quality. In doing so, we believe we have elevated and advanced the position of the entire region. The city continues to work with BC Hydro towards a final agreement between the two parties that would protect and promote the interests of the city if the project were to be approved. What's next? The city will conclude the Community Measures Agreement with BC Hydro. We will be continuing to strengthen the social framework of our community. We will continue to work with the Northeast BC Resource Municipalities Coalition to make sure the voice of the Northeast is heard on future major projects. The city will be developing an economic development strategy. Thank you for your attention today as we wait for the provincial and federal government's decision on whether to allow Site C to move forward. The City of Fort St. John continues to hold our course. We neither support nor oppose Site C. However, we continue to be committed to ensuring that our city's interests are protected and promoted if Site C is approved.